Picture this. You're hiring for a remote developer role. The resume is sharp. The portfolio looks great. The interview, honestly, one of the best you've conducted all year. Sharp answers, confident, knows all the buzzwords. You hire them. 3 weeks later, you find out that great candidate wasn't one person. It was a coached actor reading answers off a script someone else wrote, while the real work was about to be quietly outsourced, possibly overseas, possibly to someone who has never written a line of code in their life. Now, picture a different scene. You're the job seeker this time. A recruiter slides into your inbox with a job offer of your dreams. Great pay, remote, flexible. There's just one small thing. They need your bank account number to set up your direct deposit and your sign-on bonus before you've even had a real interview. Two completely different stories. Same root problem, and today we're going to talk about both sides of it. This is the Contract Podcast, where we discuss the deals we make and those that break. I'm one of your hosts, Eva Kaplinger, and today I'm going to walk individuals and organizations through what's really happening out there in the world of recruiting and what you can realistically do about it. Just how big is this really, though? Let's start with a number that made me sit up the first time I saw it. In 2024 alone, the Federal Trade Commission says people lost more than $750 million to job scams. That's up from around $500 million just the year before. On the employer side, the Society for Human Resource Management, also known as SHRM, estimates the average cost to hire someone at just over $4,000. But when that hire turns out to be fraudulent, they say the real cost of a single bad hire can run as high as $240,000. Let that sink in for a second. $250,000 from one bad decision in the hiring process. This is a real, measurable, and growing threat on both sides of the interview table. Now, if you're job hunting right now, I want you to listen up. I want to walk you through three things: the fake job ad problem, the sign-on bonus scam, and how artificial intelligence is changing the game. First, fake job postings. These used to be easy to spot. Bad grammar, sketchy email addresses, obviously too good to be true. Not anymore. Scammers today are stealing real company logos, copying real job descriptions word for word, and posting them on platforms you trust. Which ones, you ask? All of them. The FTC reported more than 77,000 complaints about job and business opportunity fraud in just the first 3 quarters of 2023. And here's the part that really gets me. Experts believe fewer than 5% of victims ever actually report it. So, here's what I want you to pay attention to. If a recruiter is emailing you from a personal Gmail or Yahoo account instead of a company domain, if they offer you the job before any real substantive interview happens, if they're asking for your social security number or bank details right out of the gate, or if they're rushing you to respond immediately, those are all red flags. Slow down. Second, let's talk about the sign-on bonus scam, because this one costs people real money. Here's how it works. A so-called recruiter offers you a job with a nice sign-on bonus. They mail you a check, but it's for more than the agreed amount. Then they ask you to wire back the difference, maybe to cover processing fees or some excuse like that. You wire the money. A few days later, your bank tells you their check bounced. It was fake all along. Now you're out real money, and there was never a real job. Here's a rule that will save you every single time. Legitimate employers do not ask for your banking information before your first day. And they never ask you to wire money back to them, ever. If that happens, it's a scam. Full stop. Third, artificial intelligence. This is where things get interesting and a little unsettling. Scammers are now using AI to fabricate entire portfolios and in some cases run deepfake video during interviews to impersonate someone who doesn't even exist. But here's some good news. AI fakery has tells. If a conversation with a recruiter feels just a little too smooth, a little too scripted, like it's not really responding to what you said, trust your instinct. And here's a trick. Ask them something specific and slightly unusual, like, what's the biggest challenge the team is facing right now? A real person will have a real specific answer. A script or a scammer usually won't. Now I want to talk to my employers, my small businesses, and nonprofits. If you're a small business owner, I want to start by saying you are not too small to be a target. In fact, small organizations are often targeted specifically because you have fewer resources to verify what you're being told. Let's talk about resume fraud because the numbers here are wild. According to the 2025 Greenhouse Workforce and Hiring Report, 28% of candidates admit to using AI to generate fake work samples. Fake work samples. Not just a fluffed up, bullet-pointed resume, entire fabricated portfolios. SHRM has been sounding the alarm on this too. Their reporting points to a sharp rise in employment fraud, especially in remote roles across tech, finance, and defense contracting. And they trace a lot of it back to one root cause, a lack of standardized identity verification in the hiring process. So what can you do? Even without a massive HR department. A few things, actually. You can ask candidates to walk you through their own work in real time. Live, not pre-recorded. Ask deep follow-up questions. Walk me through a time when you built that. And more specifically, walk me through exactly how you built that. It's very hard to fake on the spot when asked a very direct question such as that. And verify credentials directly with the issuing school or certification body. Don't just trust the PDF they send you. Now, what if you have someone who's living the double life? And that's when your remote hire has a second full-time job. So here's the one that really took off with remote work. It's the so-called overemployed trend. And that's when someone is secretly working 2 full-time jobs at the same time. Same 9 to 5 hours, 2 different employers. Neither one is fully aware of the other. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported 8.5 million dual job holders in May of 2025. Now, to be fair, this isn't always illegal, but it absolutely can violate your employment agreement. And it also absolutely affects performance, even when the person swears they're great at multitasking. So here's what helps. Put a clear moonlighting policy in your offer letters. Have people actually sign off on it. Focus on outcomes and deliverables rather than just hours logged. It's fairer and frankly, it's easier to defend later. Just a quick little side caveat. I'm not an attorney. Seek one out if you need legal advice. Anyway. And lastly, have real one-on-ones that require actual engagement with the work. Someone who's juggling 2 full-time jobs will struggle to fake that good, great work for long. Now, one of your most underrated tools can help. Something I find almost funny. In the age of AI and deepfakes, one of your best defenses is one of the oldest tools in hiring. That's the reference check. But please actually call people. Don't just email them a form, because a pause, a hesitation, a careful word choice on a phone call tells you things a written response never will. Ask open-ended questions like, what's the most complex project they led? Instead of just, were they a good employee? And here's the second best question I know. If you could, would you rehire this person without hesitation? That question is quite telling. Make sure that you listen for the pause before the yes, because that pause tells you a lot. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I don't want to treat good people like suspects, and that is a completely fair instinct, and the good news is you don't have to. The best protective measures don't feel like suspicion when they apply to everyone, equally, every time. A skills assessment isn't an insult. It's just what serious companies do. A clear moonlighting policy isn't a threat. It's just clarity given to everyone on day one. One more word of advice. If you're using a background screening company, make sure that you're checking that the employment history reflected on the resume is the same employment history that was entered into the screening company's software to be checked. Look for any discrepancies between the two and take corrective action where needed. So here's where and what I want to leave you with. Whether you're searching for your next job or you're the one trying to fill a seat on your team, the world of hiring has changed. It's faster. It's more digital, and unfortunately, it's more exploitable than it used to be. But here's the thing I actually believe. None of this requires fear. It requires a little bit of friction in a good way. Slow down and contemplate why you're being asked to wire money. Does it make any sense to do so? Get it in writing before you accept that job offer. Call the reference instead of just emailing them. And verify the credential instead of just trusting the PDF. None of this is paranoia. It's just what smart, careful people do now on both sides of the table. The goal isn't to trust less, it's to verify more so that the trust you do build is actually worth something. Tune in next time for another episode with the Contract Podcast as we explore dynamics of human resources and how it impacts you. You can find us on our Instagram channel, our YouTube channel, and at thecontractpodcast.com. And remember, stay sharp out there, ask good questions, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.